Hey, this is Sports Inquirer Marcel Purtu, and we're here with Beth Van Fleet, the head coach of Georgia State Beach Volleyball. The team was in Louisiana this past weekend for the Tiger Beach Challenge. We'll start with the wins. You beat Houston Baptist and FAU, another nationally ranked team, and just overall impressions of how your teams performed in those two contests.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me back. We really showed up at LSU this past weekend. I know that we talked a lot with our team after the first weekend in Florida State about opportunities and how to make the most of them and to really pursue them and chase them and fight hard for every point. And that's something that our team normally does very, very well. And it was incredible to see how much heart and how much grit and how much determination we had going into this weekend. We know that HBU is always generally underrated and overlooked. Like, they're a very good program and they are super scrappy. They're a well-trained team. And so they aren't nationally ranked, but they are definitely a competitive team. And so that was a great way to start our weekend, playing against them and playing at a high level. And then getting to play FAU was awesome. I know we've played FAU for so many years and it's always so close. And the dual score was 4-1, but within each game, it was a very close match. And so playing against FAU, we just always match up so well with each other. And I don't know the stats, but I bet we're at it's probably 50-50 with who wins. And so it was nice to get it this year early in the season. We'll definitely see them again later in the season at conference.
Yeah, you had three pairs go undefeated: Eden and Maddie, Olivia and other Maddie Johnson, and the third Maddie. You have a lot of Maddies. Maddie Gordon and
Yes.
Becky. Those three teams went undefeated on that first day. Just what about those groupings and how they performed?
Those pairings. So it was really great to see, and those pairings have been working together for a while this semester as well. So Eden and Delmo and the ones have played together now for like 2.5 years, 3 years. So they are very comfortable and they continue to get better every time they play together, which is really fun to watch. Olivia and Maddie Johnson they're a new partnership for us, but both of them have been extremely committed to their partnership and figuring out how to bring out the best in each other. And it's neat to see them develop that and grow that confidence base each weekend. And then with Becky and Gordo, they are just all heart, and they have played together now for about 2 years as well. And they thrive under pressure. And so it was really great having those three pairs be so steady for us. And then both Kel and Meg and Kate and Bella also played very, very well and improved tremendously over the weekend as well.
I'll say Bella and Kate, you paired them together for the first time this year, and they lost the first match, but I believe won the second one. What about that pairing?
Yeah.
And what led to bringing them together?
So we're just looking at our partnerships from a little bit of a different perspective this year than we have in the past. We always put a lot of emphasis on chemistry and communication styles under pressure, and we still are looking at that. But we're also looking at some of the metrics with regard to in-system passing on serve receive and ability to side out. And so those are some pairs that we've kind of put together a little bit more from a numbers standpoint. And they've just been so consistent in their performances with passing and siding out. And then also obviously playing defense. But both of those two pairs are brand new for us. And so they're still developing that chemistry.
Yeah, and then the next day you faced Florida State and host LSU, the top two ranked teams in the country, and dropped those contests. What can you take from those matchups and facing that type of competition this time of year?
Yeah. So those matches were so much fun. Like, getting to play teams that are so highly recognized and highly ranked early in the season, you have nothing to lose against those teams. And so it was really, really inspiring to watch our athletes show up and play as hard as they could for each other, and not necessarily harder, but also playing smarter and implementing strategy and taking some risks and finding new ways to score. Anytime you get to play a team or a program that has that stability, I think it's such a great problem-solving opportunity for us, and we're able to improve our level of play tremendously. And the FSU match was a lot of fun. And then playing against LSU, I know we lost 5-0, but it was really interesting. If you go back and look at the individual scores, it was a matter of about 7 or 8 points, across all 5 flights. That was would have been the difference maker for us. So I feel like absolutely LSU is an incredible team, but we played them really well. And I was really proud of how hard each of our flights worked to find point scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and you have a quick turnaround. You're playing tomorrow, Wednesday, March 10th, in the GSU Beach Volleyball Complex, your day of duels. So you're going to face Coastal Carolina, Chattanooga, and Mercer. So 3 matches all in one day. Is this normally the time of year you would maybe have this type of event and having these 3 matches in one day, especially midweek? And how are preparations going for the team?
Yeah. So that's a great question. We run this tournament every year. So I think this is like I think we've been doing it since the first one. So this would be our 9th year doing this. And it's a great opportunity just to get in some midweek games. A lot of the rankings, when you're looking at teams' records, it's nice to have a boost, just a higher quantity of games earlier in the season. Just because our bodies are still fresh and working, so that later in the season, as other teams are starting to ramp up and play a little bit more, we can be playing at, just 4 matches or 5 matches per weekend. And so kind of limiting some of that wear and tear, getting into the conference tournament and then the national championships. So it is very normal for us. It's a lot of fun. We're super excited. The weather looks like it's going to cooperate this year. And having Mercer. So Mercer comes to this event pretty regularly, and it's so much fun having them here because so many of the athletes on their team have ties to Atlanta. And so in the past, it's been, a big crowd. Obviously this year we are open to the public, but the crowd size will be limited, mostly to fans and our friends and family, but there will be some fans allowed. But that's always a fun match. And we do that one at night underneath the lights. And it's just always a great matchup, a nice in-state rival. So excited to have Coastal Carolina here this year as well. We play them first thing tomorrow morning, and they've started their season off on a great note. So trying to prepare today just for 3 teams that we have not yet seen this season, with UTC coming in as well. It will be UTC's first tournament of the year, so we don't know anything about them yet. So it'll be fun to just see how we can adjust in the moment, because we won't have a lot of information on any of these schools before we get to play them tomorrow.
Yeah, and it was the first match you said like early in the morning, and then the second one's going to be when the sun's down. Just how do you physically prepare the team to be on the court for 7-8 hours? Probably not playing the whole time, but having to be mentally engaged during the entire time.
Yeah. So with COVID protocols this year, we are going to play our first match, and then we're going to let all of them go home. So we're going to let them kind of mentally check out and not necessarily, go take naps, but they will be able to go back to their apartments and relax and do treatment. And then they'll come back around 3 o'clock. So in a sense, it's like a double day for practice mentality of you wake up in the morning, you do your job, you do your practice or your lift, and then you go through your day, and then you come back and have practice in the afternoon. So that format isn't all that foreign to us. It's just that now it's going to be competition instead of lifting in the morning and then practicing in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Coach Van Fleet, and we'll be in touch and keeping track of everything that's going on.
Thank you so much for following us this season, Marcel. It's great to talk to you.
All right. Thank you. Likewise.